You know that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when someone gives you a real, genuine thank you? Well, that little spark, it's so much more than just a nice moment. It's actually a science-backed tool that can totally transform every single relationship in your life. So let's get into it.
Seriously, just take a second and think about it. The last time a coworker or a friend or maybe a family member really, truly saw the effort you put in and acknowledged it. You felt seen, right? Valued. It probably made your whole day.
Well, that feeling, it's not just in your head, and it's not just you being sentimental. It is literally in your brain chemistry. So let's break down the actual science of what's going on in that moment.
See, that little spark of appreciation, it's a catalyst. It's the starting line for building real trust, for lowering stress, and for creating connections that actually go deep. It is the beginning of everything.
So, how does this all work? Let's get into the nitty-gritty science of it. When you experience gratitude, and this works whether you are giving it or receiving it, your brain kicks off this really fascinating chemical reaction. First up is dopamine. You've probably heard of it. It's the reward chemical. You can think of it like your brain giving you a little high five, basically saying, hey, that was good, let's do that again. It's positive reinforcement for being appreciative.
And then there's oxytocin. This is often called the bonding hormone for a reason. What it does is it actually lowers the fear signals in your brain, which makes you feel safer and way more open to connecting with someone. It's literally the chemical that lays the groundwork for trust.
So when you get this chemical cocktail of dopamine and oxytocin flowing, it doesn't just make you feel good. It actually changes how you act. You find yourself listening more intently. You respond with a little more patience. You just show up with more kindness. It completely changes how other people experience you.
Okay, so the brain chemistry is pretty cool, right? But how does all that science stuff translate into actual real-world results? Let's take a look at the massive impact appreciation has on our relationships.
It really breaks down into these 4 key things. Gratitude builds trust, which is, it's the absolute bedrock of any healthy relationship. From that, it creates loyalty. It makes people want to stick with you, to invest in you. It also reduces conflict, because, let's be honest, it's pretty hard to stay mad at someone who consistently shows you they value you. And all of this works together to strengthen the bonds that hold us together.
You know, all this theory is great, but let's look at it in action. There's this story about a family from New England, and they were just drifting. You know how it goes. Life gets busy, the phone calls get shorter, and that emotional distance just starts to grow.
And this quote just captures it perfectly. Their connection didn't break because of some big dramatic fight. Nope, it just faded away. It got lost in the noise and the busyness of everyday life.
So what did they do to fix it? They took a really simple first step. They started sending each other personalized cards. But here's the key. They stuffed them with old photos and inside jokes. It wasn't some huge grand gesture. It was small, meaningful, and it was just enough to reopen the door to a real conversation. And the result was just incredible. Those simple cards turned into long phone calls, which turned into shared memories, which turned into planned visits. The entire family reconnected. All of it thanks to a simple act of appreciation that released that flood of dopamine and oxytocin, making everyone feel seen, valued, and connected all over again.
So, that's an amazing story, right? But how can you get those same results? How can you apply this science in your own life? Like, right now. Let's make this super actionable. Look, it can be this simple. You don't need some grand plan. Right now, you could shoot a quick text or an email to a colleague who helped you out. You could celebrate a small win for someone else. The most important part is just to start somewhere. Because when it comes down to it, this is the core idea. This is the big takeaway. When you make appreciation your default setting, when you lead with it, your relationships, both at work and at home, they can't help but grow stronger, deeper, and just so much more resilient.
So, as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this question. Who in your life could use that spark? Who are you going to take just one moment to appreciate today? And what kind of relationships could you build if you made this a daily practice?